always felt that the Blue Bomber legacy is held more by the community than Capcom itself. There are so many fan games, and I've narrowed down my favorites for you guys. Now, here are 12 fan-made Mega Man games that you absolutely have to play. Let's go! Mega Man Unlimited. When I first booted up Mega Man Unlimited, I had to double check that I hadn't accidentally loaded an unreleased Capcom prototype. This is perhaps the most famous classic-style fan game in existence. There's an entirely original lineup of 8 robot masters: Blue Man, Rainbow Man, Nail Man, Tri-Nitro Talloween Man, my personal favorite for the sheer chaotic name alone, Comet Woman, Jet Man, Tank Man, and Yo-Yo Man. What I love about this roster is that they feel like they could have existed in 1988. I have to warn you though, this game is notoriously difficult. I remember my first run-through where I was always getting caught off guard by the enemy placement and the spikes that seem to be around every corner. However, the satisfaction of overcoming these hurdles is, of course, good. Mega Man Rock Force. If Unlimited is the standard of fan games, then Mega Man Rock Force is the innovator. Developed by Goldie, it involves a new group of rogue robots, the Rock Force, causing chaos. But the real hook is the playable characters. In Rock Force, you can recruit and play as various robot masters after you defeat them. We're talking about characters like Cutman, Gutsman, and even newer faces. Switching between them on the fly changes how you approach every single screen. Need to break a block? Bring in Gutsman. Need a long-range arc? Switch to Bomb Man. It turns the game from a linear platformer into a puzzle. There's a massive total of 11 robot masters, which is more than the standard 8 we're used to. I noticed that bosses like Shockman and Circuit Man have particularly large stages. Mega Man Maker. I like to think of Mega Man Maker as the infinite Mega Man game, much like Super Mario Maker. This is a powerful engine that lets you create your own stages and share them with the world. So, like Roblox? Yes, very much like Roblox actually. It was Roblox for millennials. As of 2026, it has grown into a big deal with dozens of updates. I have spent so many hours just scrolling through the Wily challenge that pulls random levels from the community for you to play. You might find a traditional stage that feels like it was designed by Capcom, or you might find a Kaizo-style nightmare that wants you to use the shine technique perfectly. What makes it a must-play for me is the sheer creative freedom. I'll be honest, I'm not the best level designer. My own creations end up being spike corridors of death, but seeing what the community comes up with is endlessly inspiring. Mega Man 2.5D. When I first saw the proof of concept animation for Mega Man 2.5D years ago, I thought it was just a what if video. It uses a 3D engine but maintains the 2D gameplay we love. The standout feature here, and the reason I keep it installed, is the local co-op mode. Playing through a Mega Man game with a friend where one person is Mega Man and the other is Proto Man is everything you need. You have to work together to solve puzzles, like one person holding a platform while the other jumps across. It stays true to the 8-bit physics while looking like a modern 2.5D platform. Mega Man Day in the Limelight. This series is such a clever subversion of the standard formula. In Mega Man Day in the Limelight, you don't play as Mega Man. You play as the robot masters from Mega Man 2 as they fight their way through the levels of Mega Man 3. I've always had a soft spot for Quick Man, and getting to control his speed and use his boomerangs as a primary weapon is satisfying. Trust me. Cherry on top, each robot master has a completely different feel. Bubble Man is low on land, but a king in the water, while Metal Man is exactly as overpowered as you would expect. I personally found the level adaptations to be the most impressive part. Taking a stage designed for Mega Man's specific jump height and making it navigable for Heat Man or Wood Man takes a lot of careful tweaking. Mega Man Super Fighting Robot. If you prefer the 16-bit look of Mega Man 7 or the colorful sprites of Mega Man 8, then Mega Man Super Fighting Robot is going to be your new favorite. This game feels like a premium experience, all thanks to the art and the fluid animation. Robot Master designs here are some of the best in the fan community, hands down. Bosses like Coleman or Zapman have designs that don't look like over-designed fan characters. One thing I really appreciated while playing was the balance. Often, fan games can be unfairly hard, but Super Fighting Robot does well. It also has special stages and hidden collectibles that make you revisit levels once you have new power. If you've ever wanted a true sequel to Mega Man 7, this is it. Mega Man Perfect Blue. Mega Man Perfect Blue is easily the most stylized game on this list. It doesn't try to look like an NES or SNES game, and adopts a high-fidelity 8-bit aesthetic that feels more like a modern indie game than a retro throwback. I was immediately struck by the character design. The Blue Bomber himself looks a bit sleeker, and the inclusion of Roll as a fully playable character with her own moveset is a huge plus. It's like someone gave Ozempic to Mega Man. Well, jokes apart, he does look great. So, anyway, the demo for this game blew my mind with its presentation. The music is catchy, and the level of detail in the background animations is something you rarely see in indies. You gotta love the perfect in the title, because it really does feel like they're trying to find the perfect middle ground between retro charm and modern polish. Even though it's a smaller game compared to some of the others, the quality of every single frame is undeniable. Mega Man Y+1. This one is a bit of a hidden gem. Mega Man Y+1 Operation XMAS is a holiday-themed fan game that I find myself returning to every December. Developed by the LM team, it's a compact experience that doesn't overstay its welcome. You start with 9 stages divided by difficult: 3 easy, 3 normal, and 3 hard. But here's the kicker. You actually start with some powers already available, but you have to choose which ones to bring into a stage. And you cannot not enjoy the Gingerbread Fortress stage. I mean, don't let the Christmas theme fool you. It's really challenging. And you will appreciate that Mega Man Y+1 doesn't try to be a massive 20-hour epic. It's a tightly designed mini-adventure, and it's a great example of how a fan project can become its own niche. Mega Man ZX Prequel. The Mega Man 0 and ZX series are known for their high-speed combat and Metroidvania world design. And Mega Man ZX Prequel, also known as Rockman ZX Prequel, has hand-drawn art that looks indistinguishable from the official DS title. We can play as the protagonist through a story that is the gap between the 0 and ZX eras. You will be particularly impressed by the fan translation. While the original was in Chinese, the community has worked hard to provide English versions that let us follow the deep lore, exploring the world, finding secret chips to upgrade your abilities, and fighting massive bosses that fill the screen. What an experience. Mega Man X8, 16-bit. Let's be real. Mega Man X8 was divisive. It moved the series back towards 2D, but the 3D models and some of the gimmicky vehicle stages didn't sit right with everyone. That's where Mega Man X8 16-bit comes in. This is a complete demake that reimagines the game in the style of the SNES X trilogy. By stripping away the clunky 3D and focusing on the core 16-bit mechanics, the developers made the levels more fun to play. Stages like Central White level feel much more neutral when they're focused on wall kicking and dashing, rather than awkward 3D perspectives. The armors are beautifully rendered in 16-bit sprites, and the music is also demade into the SNES sound chip style, which sounds fantastic. It's a great example that proves that sometimes less is more. If you wished X8 had been released on the Super Nintendo in 1995, this game is your wish coming true. Mega Man Arena. Mega Man Arena is a competitive 2D fighter that feels like a cross between Mega Man and Super Smash Bros. With a roster of over 50 characters, I was mainly playing the survival mode, trying to see how many waves of enemies I can take down with nothing but top man spin. Mega Man Arena even includes advanced mechanics like wave dashing and hit stun cancelling, and believe me, these are high skill ceilings. Long story short, it's not just a button masher, it's a legitimate competitive game. I love the boss mode too, where you can team up with friends to take down enemies like the Mecha Dragon and others. Mega Man X Corrupted. Finally, we have the holy grail of fan games. Mega Man X Corrupted by JKB Games has been in development for over a decade, and as of 2026, it's one of the most technically impressive projects I have ever seen. While it is still in development, the amount of content and the quality of the builds shown are staggering. This is an open-world Metroidvania with 0 stages, because the entire world is connected anyway. If you take too long to reach a certain area, the corruption might spread and change the layout and difficulty of that zone. Amazing, right? I have followed the development streams for years, and every time I see X or Zero in action, I'm happy with the animation quality. It's the most ambitious fan project in the history of the community, and even in its current state, it's a must-watch. Marvelous verdict. Well, I'm struck with nostalgia. These games show that the Blue Bomber is still very much alive through the fans. I've had a blast finding out these titles, and I hope you comment on your favorite one among them. And I will see you in the next video.